when we roll up, we should have 3,000 in cost, and we should have 25%, right? Because the average of 25% should be 25%. So we'll hit the roll button. Rolls up. We got 25% and 3,000. Hey everyone, this is My SharePoint Questions, and I am Andrew Hess. So today I wanted to recreate a roll-up field in our Power App. This came to me in a question in one of the videos. So this is the question based off one of my other videos, and there were like a couple suggestions. If you can make % completed an automated calculation instead of a manual input, that'll be great. And something similar, for things like work. So this is specific to my Power App, and I was creating a task list. And we want to auto calculate things like % complete based on if it's a task or a subtask. So the subtasks should auto calculate to the % complete. And I was thinking, okay, how are we going to do that, right? And I was thinking, all right, so I'm going to create a checkbox. So I'm going to input a checkbox in here. And this is going to say whether we auto calculate it or not. And we'll just call it roll, because it's actually like a roll up, right? So this is very similar to Microsoft Project or some of your other project tools out there that you might use to create a task list where it will roll up. Now the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create a visibility. We want the ability to roll up if this item .TaskType, that's my field here, is equal to, let's see, task, then it's true, else it's false. So I only want the roll-up checkbox to appear if the task type is a task, right? If it's a subtask, we don't want it to roll up. That's how I'm going to start this off. So we have 3 checkboxes now, and each of these are on our tasks. And if you notice the order ID, right, there's no decimal here. For the subtasks, we have decimals. In a previous video, we made it possible for us to be able to change, the order if we want to. We could just, select this toggle here, and we can change the order if we wanted. But for this video, we're going to keep going with this roll-up idea. And basically, the way I see it is just doing math. Like, that's all we got to do is figure out the math behind it. So on check, we're going to select the parent. We also want to do that. Select parent on the on check. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to patch. I'm going to automatically patch as soon as someone hits that checkbox. And so we're going to patch. And what am I going to patch? So for me, this is in SharePoint. This is a project task list, and there's many tasks in here, right? This is tasks for all my projects. It's not just my own projects. So when we patch our SharePoint list here, what row do we want to patch? We want to patch this item, the row that we're clicking on. So we're going to select this parent. And when we click this checkbox, so we want to patch the plan line here. So I'm going to say this item. All right, so we want to patch this item that we're currently on. And what do we want to patch? I'm going to start with something simple like the cost. We'll patch the cost. We'll sum 1,000 plus 100, the cost here. So I feel like that's the easiest thing to do. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to actually patch the title. We have to patch the title because it's a required field. So the title is going to be the lblTaskName.Text. So the first thing we're going to do when we roll up is we're going to patch the title over top of itself. And we have to do that because the task name is required field. In SharePoint, the title field is required. Now the next thing that we're going to patch is going to be the cost. And when we do the cost, what we want to do is we want to sum every subtask together. So if it's subtask here and subtask here, we want to sum 100 plus 1,000. So for the cost, I'm going to start simple here. I'm going to just patch everything in the cost field of this gallery. So let's start there. So in the gallery, let's sum my gallery name, galTasks.AllItems. So that's the name of my gallery, and we're going to sum the cost. And let's get our ending square bracket and parentheses. So there we go. All right, so now, this is just making it simple. When I hit play and I hit this checkbox, it's going to sum 3,000, 2,000, and these all numbers. So watch when I hit the button, it now turned to 6,100. Okay, but that's not what we want. We just want 1,000 and 1,100. So I was thinking about, okay, how am I going to do this? And we have to watch out for delegation too, right? So I'm going to do it when it starts with a 1. So when order ID starts with a 1, okay? I really want to do is I want to filter galTasks. I'm going to filter galTasks.AllItems. And what am I going to filter it by? I'm going to filter it by the starts with our task order ID. So that's our lblTaskOrderID.Text. When that is equal to ThisItem.TaskOrderID. And I believe we just need the correct parentheses in here. So when it starts with, and we're filtering, so we need another parentheses. There we go. So we have our correct parentheses in there. So we're saying, hey, sum it when it checks all the task order IDs when it's equal to the first one. So when it starts with a 1, sum them. All right, so let's try the checkbox. So we'll sum. Oh, and it overwrote and summed the total. So you can see that this is 7,200 plus another 1,100. So the next time it'll be 8,300. Watch. So 8,300. All right, so we're almost there. Now, in my case, my scenario, I have a column here called SubTask. Let's only sum it when it's equal to SubTask. So let's go back to our filter statement here. We're only going to filter it, and I believe the comma goes right here, when TaskType equals SubTask. So that's when we're going to filter it. We're going to filter it when TaskType equals SubTask. So I know this is complex, but technically this is just figuring out how your data looks and doing some math behind it. So now when I hit the roll, it's going to write 1,100 and it rolls up 5,000. And then obviously this one has 0. It's going to remain 0. All right, so we have cost now rolling up. Let's try something like percent complete. This may be a more difficult one, right? We have to count the number, count the rows, and then divide by the number of rows. So let's try percent complete. All right, so in our equation, before the bracket, we're going to add a comma here. And I'm going to say percent complete. Okay, so we're going to do percent complete. Let's start simple, and let's just put a number in there. Let's put 0.5 or 0.5. So let's try it out. All right, we got it simple. Let's just, roll it up. Percent complete is now 50%. All right, so we got that working. Now let's keep building on that. So just in case you're wondering, right, we're doing a little math. I know this is basic, very simple math, but we're going to find the sum of the numbers divided by the total numbers of the values, right? So we want to find the sum. And pretty much this is the same thing, right? Filter all of them when they equal SubTask. So we're going to do that again. And this is the percent complete. Right, so let's get that working first. So let's find the percent complete. There we go. Okay, so let's sum them. So we got the sum working. So it's now 100%, right? 100 plus 0 is 100%. But then the next part is dividing by, so let's say dividing by CountRows. And what are we going to count the rows of? We're going to count the filter here, the filter statement. The filter statement, when it is equal to SubTask, and if I add a parentheses here, I believe we may already have it. Now, the important thing here is being neat in your code, right? If you can get really confused very fast. So we're just doing the sum of our rows divided by the number of rows. So we're counting the rows where it's equal to SubTask. And let's try it out. 50 already. Look at that. It seems so complex, right? But when you just keep your formulas and your code very neat, all we're doing here, and we could write in some comments in our code, right? You know, %complete is the sum of all rows equal that starts with the task order ID and equal to task name or task type divided by the total rows of that task type. So we can put some comments in there just so we can understand what's going on, but that's how we're calculating %complete. So let's go ahead and create some more rows in here. Let's just double check our work. So I'm going to make some 3.1 and 3.2. So we're going to create a task, and it does default to 4. That's just the way I have it working right now. We'll do 3.1, and this is run. So what can we do during run in our project? Create UX. We'll just say create UX. This will make it simple. Priority is low. %complete, we're going to say, we'll put in 0.25. We'll say 25%. The cost is 1,000. Actual cost, 1,000. And this is a subtask. And it's not complete. And I'm not going to worry about the dates because I'm just not going to worry about the dates right now, okay? Forgive me about the dates. So I'm going to save. We got 3.1 in here, and it's a subtask. All right, so when I create the next field, I'm going to just leave it as 4.1 just to show you how we've done a lot of work. This is going to be create UI. The priority is low. The %complete, we're going to say 25% here also. And the cost will be 2,000. No actual cost yet. We're not complete. It is a subtask, and I'm not going to worry about the dates or comments right now, okay? So we can see this came in as 4.1, but in a previous video, we came in here and we changed it, so we can just write in 3.2 and write it right back, and then we changed our order ID. So if you want to see how we did that, I will put that in the description of the video. We did do that in a previous video where we changed the order ID on the fly. All right, so now that we have this roll checkbox here, when we roll up, we should have 3,000 in cost, and we should have 25%, right? Because the average of 25% should be 25%. So we'll hit the roll button, rolls up, we got 25% and 3,000. Let's create one more task just to double check. So we have create UX, create UI. How about we create 3.3, create Power BI. So we'll just create some Power BI. It's a normal priority. %complete, we'll say we're already at 50% somehow. I don't know, just magically we're at 50%. So the cost will be 500. Everything else is correct. I'm not going to put the dates in, so we'll just hit save. Now you'll notice it has not calculated yet. You know, maybe we don't want it to roll up, so that's why I'm giving the option to roll up or not. And so when we hit the roll function, it's going to be 3,500 and then these three numbers divided by 3. So there it is. We now have 33.3333% and 3,500. Now we could cut this off and round. You know, we could do something like, so we could take our big giant long equation here and we could round the sum and then the very end, comma, 2 decimal places, right? Or a number of digits. Let's say 3 digits. There we go. So when we roll up, it'll be 3.33. You'll notice that my earned value is actually already calculated. Isn't that really neat? Because we calculated earned value in Power Apps. It's actually multiplying the 25% by 100%, by 1,000, multiplying this, and then it's adding them all together based on the cost. So we have 33% of 3,500. EV is already calculating because it is multiplying 33% by 3,500. EV is already calculated. That's something we don't even have to roll up. So it's really neat. So you notice right here, we're just multiplying this item .% complete times this item.cost, and that's calculating our earned value. So I just want to say thank you for watching. I appreciate the questions. If you're new here, please feel free to ask me more questions. I do take your questions from YouTube, Twitter, your email, wherever I get them, and I make videos about them. So I just want to say thank you, everyone who's watching, everyone who's supporting me. I appreciate it, and I'll see you next week.